Hello and welcome to the introductory video for our project about the flipped classroom model. As a group of both non-educators and educators in the traditional and non-traditional classroom settings, we hope to share with you about the flipped classroom model through interactive technologies that can also be used during the implementation of the flipped classroom model itself. Flipped learning is an innovation that aims to free up time in lessons for interactive, creative and communicative learning. How is this done? By flipping the lecture part of the lesson to occurring before the actual lesson, students pre-watch the video before arriving in class. The flipped classroom can be implemented across subject areas and is seen as maximising the face time that the student has with their educator. So what are the advantages to flipping a classroom? With the students having already seen the lecture, there is extra time available in lessons. This is the major advantage to the flipped classroom. The students have extra time to interact with themselves and their teachers and to think critically about the topic they're studying. Without a traditional lecture-style lesson, students are more equipped to deal with 21st century learner skills and traits. The flipped classroom model makes the learning central rather than the teaching and comes with a wealth of advantages such as increased motivation and test scores. As with all new innovations, the flipped classroom model also suffers barriers that need to be addressed before true implementation. The obvious barrier is access to the technology needed for it. There are also problems with accountability, teacher training, and the innovation has been met with cynicism from parents, students, teachers, and administrators. The flipped classroom can be used to teach all major curriculum areas and maximise on instructor-student interaction time in the lesson. As well as this, the flipped classroom model allows scaffolding, something that is particularly valuable for struggling students or high achievers. In the interactive Nearpod presentation, you will have the opportunity to see more in-depth language arts lessons plans that have been created following the flipped classroom model. Education doesn't stop when people leave school, and employee education is also a major area of education. The skills that employees need in a workplace can also be taught by the flipped classroom, which accentuates critical thinking and innovation. Traditional business education is rarely seen as learning-focused, and in this regard, the flipped classroom is seen as being employee-centered education, with learners taking a more active role in their learning. The flipped classroom in the business setting also maximises employee-preferred learning on their own time, combined with group sessions. One member of our group works with the prison population, so we decided to explore whether a flipped classroom would work in a prison environment. As with the traditional school environment, the biggest barrier is access. However, if implemented in these populations, they could have benefits such as allowing pre-made material and increasing inmates' engagement. Please feel free to explore more of this issue in our Nearpod presentation. Nearpod is a technology that is used in the flipped classroom, and here we have provided more details and interactive activities.
Created using Powtoon.